Bosch, deep shot. Get it! What a perfect ending to a historic day!
After splitting the first two games in Denver, the Nuggets took control of the NBA Finals, taking Game 3 in Miami. But let's look at some of the adjustments Denver made to flip the script after dropping Game 2 at home. Obviously, Nikola Jokic was fantastic in Game 3, putting up a 30-20 triple-double. Jamal Murray had a 30-point triple-double of his own. And Christian Braun was outstanding with 15 points on 7 of 8 shooting in just 19 minutes off the bench. But I want to focus on the changes the Nuggets made in Game 3 to attack the Miami Heat's zone that had been so effective in the first two games of the series. Let's first look at how the Denver Nuggets attacked the Miami Heat zone early in the series. You'll take a look at the Miami Heat defense here. The Heat tend to mix up their zone throughout the game. When they go to it, it largely depends on the situation, but oftentimes when Duncan Robinson is in the game, the Heat increase their percentage of zone. Here you can see Jokic at the high post, and that's where he did most of his work in the first two games. Although Jeff Green catches near the basket here, and Christian Braun has made a nice cut on the backside, Jokic is out near the top of the key, top of the three-point line, away from the action, and the Nuggets' best passer is far away from the play. Braun may be slightly open for a layup with Lowry leaning in to help on the backside, but the Heat's length and Bam Adebayo down low caused Jeff Green to miss this cutter, and the Nuggets end up settling for a Jamal Murray fadeaway corner three that hits the top of the backboard. We'll take a look at a play a few possessions later as the Nuggets again get into their offense late due to the Heat's pressuring of the ball full court. 14 seconds on the shot clock is the first time the Nuggets begin their offense. And again, Nikola Jokic far away from the basket near the Ball Arena logo, getting into their offense late. Although the ball ends up in Jokic's hand, it's late on the perimeter, deep in the shot clock, and it ends up in an offensive foul. And again, the Nuggets struggle to get a good look against the Miami zone defense. Again, the Heat extending their zone out near half court. Nikola Jokic once again out near the perimeter. As the ball is swung around the arc, it ends up in a Bruce Brown forced drive. There's nothing there, and it leads to another missed shot off the tough take from Brown. Here off the sideline out of bounds, again, Jokic near the perimeter with the ball, trying to set him a ball screen. Leads to a contested Michael Porter Jr. missed three. But again, the lack of movement, cutting, and Jokic far from the basket leads the Nuggets to struggle. Again, the Miami Heat putting pressure full court, forcing the Nuggets to start their offense late. Once again, the offense starts with Nikola Jokic catching the ball high. Jokic again away from the basket, nowhere near the paint against the Miami Heat zone, and it leads to a Denver turnover on an errant pass from Jokic. Here, the Heat back off rather than extend their pressure, but they continue to stay in a zone. Once again, we see Nikola Jokic starting the offense out near the perimeter, multiple feet beyond the three-point line. Jokic attempts to drive and Butler deflects the ball out of bounds. Once again, the Nuggets offense ineffective against the Heat. Although the Nuggets came away victorious in Game 1 by double digits, it was no thanks to their zone offense, as Denver's offense against the Miami Heat zone really struggled. They were stagnant and really had issues scoring the ball and getting good looks. We look here at a possession from Game 1 early in the fourth quarter. Again, Jokic starting in the high post. Notice the Nugget movement on ball handler drives to the basket. As Murray attacks, we have no cutters to the basket. He decides to kick it out, and Jeff Green attacks the basket again. As Green attacks, 4 guys standing on the outside. This leads to, again, a Jokic drive, and once again, all Nugget offensive players standing and watching. This leads to a tough shot in the lane by Nikola. That's off the mark, and all of a sudden the Heat have the ball and a chance to cut this down to 10. Late in the game, with a 14-point lead and Jokic on the bench, the struggles continue against the Heat zone for the Nuggets. Ball movement on the outside is followed by very little player movement. Murray tries to isolate late in the shot clock, but Hightower does a good job defending, and the Nuggets have to settle for another deep three, this time from Bruce Brown. Mike Malone made some really good adjustments from game 2 to 3. As we can see here, Jokic starts much closer to the basket. Despite not starting in the paint, the lob from Murray allows Jokic to catch with nearly 2 feet in the paint. Notice how far Zeller is away from Jokic on the catch. Although Jokic isn't able to score here, catching with 2 feet in the paint and having cutters on the backside such as Christian Brown here are a good sign for the Nuggets. On the following possession, we see a similar action. Again, instead of having Jokic start at the high post or out on the perimeter, Mike Malone has him start much closer to the basket near the paint. The entry pass to Jokic, which is allowed by spacing Bruce Brown here on the right wing, allows him to catch much closer to the basket. But more importantly is what happens after. In games 1 and 2, the Nuggets refused to cut on low post entries and on drives to the basket. Here, however, we see Christian Brown with a great diagonal cut to the basket. He catches with 2 feet in the paint on the nice feed from Jokic and finishes a layup up and in with the left. Again, a beautiful play by the Nuggets here. And having Jokic starting low to the basket, as well as creating more cutters and movement, allow the Nuggets to get great looks. Here, the Nuggets draw a little action up, using Jokic as a decoy. We can see Nikola cutting through on the baseline, which draws Tyler Zeller over to him on the ball side on the left side of the floor. Jimmy Butler is frozen in the high post, and this leaves Kyle Lowry guarding Bruce Brown on the right wing. This mismatch allows Jeff Green to cut to the basket wide open on the backside, leaving Tyler Zeller and Kyle Lowry running at the ball late. The high pass from Murray prevents Green from getting a wide open look on the initial catch. However, a great pass from Green on the backside after the Nikola Jokic cut leaves Christian Brown wide open in the corner for 3. We'll take a look at a possession here early in the fourth quarter. And again, the Nuggets' movement is what creates the difference here. Again, Nikola Jokic catching closer to the basket, closer to the paint, allows nice movement for the Nuggets. And once again, Christian Brown cutting on the backside creates a nice look. Jokic ends up taking the jump shot here and grabs the offensive rebound, but once again, the movement is what creates good looks for the Nuggets. A nice flash by Jeff Green to the middle. Hesitates the defense for just a second, allowing Brown to rip and go to the rim. He draws a foul before getting the shot up. Now we'll take a look at the last element that allowed the Nuggets to succeed against the Heat zone, and that's their ability to penetrate to the basket under control. On this play, we see Christian Brown attack the basket without hesitation. On the drive, Brown gets 2 feet into the paint, but rather than force a contested jump shot with defenders all around him, he finds a cutting Jokic on the backside for an easy open shot in the paint. That's a shot Nikola can hit all day, and it's created by the Christian Brown drive to the basket, but also the willingness to not force a bad shot on the attack. One possession later, we see a similar outcome. Again, the Nuggets facing this Heat zone look to attack under control. Here, Christian Brown catches and attacks into the paint. Once again, he collapses the defense, but does not force a bad shot. Instead, he finds Nikola Jokic moving without the ball with 2 feet in the paint. Jokic catches and is hit and goes to the line for 2 free throws. Again here against the zone, the Denver Nuggets are going to find a way to attack the basket under control. Here, Murray attacks in the paint, and where in previous games this might have been a forced shot, on the initial attack. He's able to jump stop slowly, stop, and get an easy shot in the paint. Once again, controlled drives against the Heat zone, leading to good looks for the Nuggets. Overall, the Nuggets handled the Miami Heat zone defense extremely well in Game 3 when compared to Games 1 and 2. Erik Spoelstra is one of the best in the game, so you have to expect the Heat will have some sort of adjustment coming back in Game 4. I'm fascinated to see what he comes up with, and it'll be an exciting game tonight in Game 4, a must-win for the Miami Heat. Check out our channel and our podcast, all of our shorts, and all of our content at Respectfully Uncut. Check out all of our social media at Respectfully Uncut for YouTube and TikTok, at Respectfully Uncut Pod for Instagram, and at our Uncut Pod for Twitter. As always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.